Last we left off, you made peace within the werewolf camp, making forever allies out of Zulika and Emil, as well as their clan uniting the forces against Strahd since Kirill was no longer part of the picture. You then made your way kind of northwest to Krezk, the remote mountain village hidden behind tall stone walls, and this was guarded when you approached. The plan was to show that Anderson could possibly be a mongrel folk-like creature himself. But that backfired horribly, as the town immediately denied entry and drew arms
All right,
against you.
narrator.
Has failed.
That's a little
Right?
harsh.
I mean, well, um, but they immediately called for the burgomaster to see for themselves. Anderson was able to deceptively convince the burgomaster that the guard must have been seeing things, and you were permitted entry. Once in, you were brought to the burgomaster's humble cottage in town. After some questioning, you found that the graves are being robbed, and the town views the abbot and his mongrel folk as abominations and no good to the town, and sort of they keep to themselves to keep the peace. You produced some wine and shared it among the burgomaster and his wife, where eventually he told you that his son had recently died from an illness, and that was part of the reason for his demeanor. He eventually agrees to allow you to go up to see the abbot and return to the town, under the condition that you ask him for help in reviving his son. We resume after having finished the conversation, and you were in the process of deciding whether you wanted to go up now or rest for the day and go up the next. The dinner bell had just rang, and the burgomaster had shared that it was probably one of the better times to go up after the beasts had been fed, given some time to relax. What do you do?
I voted that we go up immediately. I didn't want to.
We didn't get into like a major battle, did we? I mean, after the werewolves, is everyone looking okay?
Well, we haven't rested since the werewolves.
I did give you guys a short rest.
Yeah.
I think Temperance is still like trailing blood every step.
No, I'm pretty
I'm
sure
fine.
she's. I
I'm
felt
pretty
like
well
somebody.
healed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody healed her up.
There was
Oh,
some
who-
healing.
who-
There was
who-
some
who did that?
rest hit
You
points.
did.
That's
Our
right. I
druid
did.
friend.
Yeah.
The
And I think
party's
Remuse
healer.
did too.
Everything's okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't see any reason of delaying the inevitable unless you guys do need rest. I don't foresee, knock on wood, a fight breaking out. We're coming in peace.
We're here to get things done. We might as well get it done.
We are on a bit of a time schedule. Best to get this done sooner rather than later, unless anyone really needs the rest.
I suppose so, but how do you want us to broach the subject of robbing graves?
Carefully. Definitely carefully. I'd like to get to know the abbot before we start accusing him of things or going down that path.
Very well.
Really quickly, sorry guys. Did we decide that only 2 days had passed since since Strahd had invited you to the wedding, or is this the start of the third? This is the third day. Okay, I think you're right. I forgot to track that when we had discussed it last session. Anyways, carry on.
Because, we spent a night at the Wizards of Wines, then we spent a night at the tower, and now we're here. So this will be the third day.
Okay. Alrighty, so is the consensus to head up to the Abbey?
Unless anybody has any reason why we shouldn't.
Sounds like it.
I just think that maybe perhaps we should do a little bit more looking in, lest we have another situation like moving into the town today and being caught unprepared for something.
So what would you like to do?
Don't have any good ideas.
Everybody here is going to have colored opinions of them. I think it's better that we don't ask around and we make our own informed decision when we learn more about it from them.
Let's just be a little more cautious on showing some of our abilities. And I look at Anderson.
Yeah, I don't want to make that mistake again.
Well, all the information we had alluded to that being something that would have worked.
We took a risk. You can't plan for everything.
No, but you can plan for a lot. But let's go forward then.
If anything, it seems like this would be the time to pull your trick out again.
If needed.
If needed, but, well, I'd rather not repeat that, what happened last time.
Stow your
Just in
weapons.
case.
Don't look hostile. I'll look at Bria, or Temperance. Smile.
Yeah, Temperance just kind of glares at everyone.
Let's go see if we can make a good impression on somebody who might have what we need.
Yeah.
And I'll start marching up the hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leaving the burgomaster's cottage, I'm assuming that conversation kind of happened outside just after having left. Kind of wandering shortly through the village as the road up was just kind of right within view shot. You see an older woman opening a door to a cottage and several kind of medium-sized pigs. If you've ever grew up on a farm back there, you would realize that these were not fully grown pigs. Kind of trot out, and they're kind of sniffing on the ground, and you can see that the old woman is attempting to feed them outside. Whoa. Sorry, that blowing made it sound. I was thinking like, oh shit, what's going on?
Where's
like
the wind tunnel?
Yeah, where the wind's
Sorry.
not. Oh, you're fine. It scared me. I didn't know where it was
Blows
coming from.
across the mountain and swirls amongst the pigs. And...
I could do I could do sound effects now.
Yeah, perfect. But you can see also as you're kind of walking by, kind of just curiosity getting the better of you. You peek in and you can see that there are also chickens kind of cooped up inside of the cottage, realizing that it's probably too cold here year round to allow the animals to just free roam outside. They keep them inside buildings.
You said she's trying to gather them up or feed them? I'm sorry, I missed that detail.
She brought the pigs outside to feed them. So as they come outside, she, eventually places a large bucket of slop down, and they feed outside to limit the mess.
I don't notice any fingers or anything like that in the slop, do I?
You can make a perception check. Okay. Unless you were to get very, very close, it would be really difficult. Like, as you see her kind of pitch things out, you get the feeling that an overwhelming portion of it is leftover meats and leftover vegetables, like the tail ends of carrots and, things that, just the scraps of what they already use in their community. You don't see any human anatomy inside of this.
You started
Or a
off
mongrel
getting me a little
folk
nervous
anatomy.
right there. So I was like, okay.
But eventually, you start winding up a massive switchback, going back and forth up this mountain. The first trail goes all the way along the eastern side of the village, the northeastern side. And as you get to the northest point, before you start turning back around, looking over to the west, you can see a shimmering pond. Water unlike anything that you've ever seen before here in Barovia. Like, you've come across clean water out in the wild, but it still looks kind of murky and dark. This, crystal clear, if anything, has a sort of shimmering property to it. A ruined, like broken down wooden gazebo sets perched on one side, overlooking the waters, as well as a wooden carved statue of a man kneeling. The paint that was once probably pretty pristine, now chipped away and withered, of a man kneeling, arms outstretched, bare-chested, facing the eastern direction.
Does the face look like anything like our favorite burgomaster slash ruler of the land?
Anybody that wants to make a religion check.
Oh boy, religion.
Gross.
I got a 1.
Your D&D Beyond's not working again, huh?
No, I just gotta get that again.
Oh god, not again.
I got a 1.
Okay. Honora, with a 15, you're probably the only one that would recognize it. Probably outside of maybe Ira, the only person that was really close enough to the cleric while he remained within the group. This appears to be a tribute to Lathander, was what you would know him as. But within Barovia, the Morning Lord is the way that they describe this creature that brings about the dawn. The Dawnbringer brings the new sun.
Yeah, guys, that's just the Morning Lord. Remember Nicodemus? He was always talking about him.
Eventually, after climbing further, taking the switchback, getting all the way up, it is getting colder. It is getting, you're 5, 6, 700 feet up into the side of this mountain. Eventually,
Have some hefty switchbacks.
yes, this takes you a significant portion. Like, it takes you a couple hours to get all the way up to the top. Not only the elevation change, but also the grueling trek. You're basically traveling from one end of the village to the other multiple times before you get up to the top. And eventually, as you're winding around to the northernmost point, you come face to face with the gate. As you're winding up, you realize that this once dirt paved road eventually turns into a gravel road, passing between you see two stone kind of outbuildings on either side of this large gate. The wall seems to be only about 5 foot high, maybe 3 foot thick, of just kind of jumbled stone. These iron gates that are kind of attached to these outbuildings, preventing you from going in. But you can see through the gates. The stone abbey seems quiet. Foggy mist swirls in the courtyard. But at this moment, you don't see anybody. Let me go ahead and bring you guys to this new map.
Anderson, if you'd be so kind.
On the way up,
Yeah, he'll boost you up.
I meant knock. It's gonna have you knock.
Oh yeah, sorry. Whenever you say, I keep going back to when you're like now just like boost you up above the fence.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
well,
Well, I
that's
don't
what
think we're
happens.
there
He goes
yet,
to
but
pick you up.
Okay.
yeah, I was like,
and you
oh,
have
no,
to
I meant to
stand.
knock.
Nice visual right there.
Just Anderson's about to like hoist you up, and you're like, no, knock. He's like, oh right.
On our way up through the switchback, did we find evidence? Also, looking at the map, I wasn't aware of like any like cemetery or anything like that. Or would we have had any kind of indication where the graves are being are plotted?
Yeah, that's a good question. As you were, give me a second.
Weren't the? Do I remember incorrectly that the graves were outside of town?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you do remember incorrectly. The graves are behind each individual house.
Okay.
Like each cottage has their own small plot where typically the cottages just stay within the family. Rarely
Okay.
do the family sizes grow to an extent that they need to continue to build new ones. But anytime anybody passes, it's just added to a small plot behind the home.
We see like
But
evidence of like tracks and stuff coming from the Abbey down through the switchback.
I guess since I kind of narrated all the way through it without giving you a whole lot of opportunity to react, go ahead and roll me a survival check for that past, I guess. In case that.
I got a
What a
one.
day to not have panting.
Okay. Which kind of makes sense. It would be very, very difficult if the tracks weren't extremely fresh, just due to the nature of the snow and the wind. As you were getting higher and higher, the wind sweeping.
oh, hold on,
Yeah, I see
Joseph
that.
He
died.
didn't like his roll. He's resetting the system.
Now at one, I'm out of here, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not playing. This isn't fun.
Lies and slander.
All right.
No, you're fine.
You're good.
So there's snow and it kind of
Yeah, it's difficult to
It's kinda
see any
covering
sort of
everything.
tracks. Yeah, outside of the ones that you're creating on your way up now.
okay. All right. Let's open the gate, I guess.
Oh.
Anderson, he's gonna go up and just like knock, just try to get someone's attention.
As you knock on the gate, just that little bit of pressure seems to give you the indication that it is not locked. In fact, it just needs a little bit of push. It's kind of heavy, so as you hit, you can feel it kind of shift a little bit. But seeing it shift, you look down and you realize there's no locking mechanism. It's just a heavy iron gate that is almost there for formalities to
Well, this
note the
is-
entrance.
It's either really good or really bad.
Explain.
But well, the gate ain't locked,
All right.
so I figure we can just go right through.
Sounds reasonable enough to me.
I think as long as we make ourselves known, I don't want to sneak up on a bunch of people.
Right. Well, make no attempt to hide. Let's just go out and play inside, I guess. And Anderson will like open the gate and begin to like walk through.
As you open up the gate, it lets out kind of a shrill, kind of creaking noise as the iron, well rusted, is very loud, and it's just as it's opening up, and that You hear a rustling from inside of the two outhouses, kind of simultaneously, and these two individuals from either side. Let me come stumbling outside, not armed, but both of them hunched, hooded figures. Their brown cloaks kind of covering their face. One of them, their
Oh, one of them looks like a real winner.
well, don't necessarily look at those pictures. I don't think they accurately represent the. I think they made very few mongrel folk tokens, and this is just kind of what they um, created. Um, One of them kind of has some scales on the side of his face, a relatively humanoid, human-looking face, just patches of like a lizard, some sort of serpent folk like patches. You can also see that the one of the hands that are kind of outstretched has a very feline um, resemblance, kind of a furred paw that has an opposable thumb. Um, and the other one, I guess this one does kind of look pretty accurate. Has kind of a wolf's snout that's protruding, much more so than the other Bellevue Cyrus that you had met in Strahd's castle. Um, but the one that speaks up comes with almost a feminine voice. Uh, Who goes there? What are you doing here within our castle?
We'd like to speak with the abbot, please.
On what
Now.
business? Looking over at you with kind of like these cat-like eyes, you see these yellow vertical slits just looking, staring you deep into your, like just under your hat, the brim kind of covering the shadows of your eyes. But you can see that this sees you clear as day and has now a negative temperament towards you.
Um, we can't see the abbot. We need to talk to him about some stuff. Plus, we were hoping he did the last rites for a friend of ours that was fallen.
And you see this lizard folk like creature kind of walk over to the other hooded figure that's remained relatively quiet, and as they're convening amongst themselves for a moment, you kind of hear this nervous laughter coming out of the dog like figure, and then it starts walking away. The one that had been
Ascend.
speaking with you previously. Right this way, please. And
Okay,
starts.
I'll follow.
Go ahead.
I was like, if we all start following him, I want to follow a few steps behind, and I want to send a message to Anderson that the Morning Lord jogged my memory. We should bring up Nicodemus.
Am I allowed to respond, or is that just a
Yeah.
one-way thing? Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Anderson says, "Good idea, but can't help but think this was a little too easy."
Not everything has to be difficult.
In Barovia, I disagree.
Making your way through the Abbey, as soon as you come in on the other side, it was difficult to see from the 5-foot cobblestone walls. You peer down towards the and understand that you're coming in from the north, even though it looks like the west on this map. As you're coming in, you look towards the bottom of the map and you see basically a row of graves, neatly taken care of. This graveyard filled with dozens of small plots. But they take you in further, and eventually take you up to another set of gates. Let me. Once you get further in, you can see this. This is now a 15-foot high wall, and it separates. You can see that it clearly separates the two wings of the Abbey itself. As they open up the 10-foot tall wooden doors that are reinforced with these large steel bands. Let me get that open. And they kind of step off to either side, and you can hear the dog-like creature kind of laughing under its breath, cackling almost as if you would like a hyena.
Does it seem like just instinctual?
Make make a nature or a survival check for like trying to, or even an insight. Make like an insight check. That's the one that I want. I want an insight. Okay. As you're watching this creature just kind of cackling in a hyena-like manner, kind of under its breath, trying to almost even to, you can sense that it's almost even trying to muffle itself, as if it's embarrassed of this uncontrolled laughter that it has. As you look at it, it quickly like averts its gaze and looks down to the ground, but it can't stop. You can see its body shaking even as this laughter is happening, and you get the sense that it's nervous. It's almost involuntary that this it's like a tick that it has. Or if you know hyenas in general, that's actually it's stress induced, that laughter.
Knowing that, I mean, just like looking at him, this guy looks stressed. Anderson, I mean, he looks at him just for a second, but seeing that he's nervous, just like looks back to where he's going. Doesn't say anything.
As you get to this, the dog-like creature goes up and pushes open the doors, and then quickly slinks back out of the way. The woman that had been speaking to you. Wait in this courtyard, and I will send for the abbot.
Thank you.
And you're allowed to, they basically wait for you to walk through to the courtyard first.
Anderson will go in, but just kind of like, did they say that they were going to close the door behind us, or has that not been discussed?
They didn't tell you what they were going to do, so you won't know until it happens.
Okay. Anderson will walk through and just say, I would prefer it if we kept this open.
That will not be necessary. And she walks in behind you, shutting the door and leaving the dog-like creature outside, and continues down towards the southern portion of the wing. Let me go ahead and give you an explanation of the courtyard. As you're stepping, go ahead, unless you wanted to do something before you get inside the courtyard.
That creature that is standing in the northeast portion of the map.
Okay.
You probably pause for a second and look at that.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
I'll get there.
Okay.
So as you're stepping through the gates, this thick fog that fills the courtyards, as the gate is open, you can see the wind rushing in just kind of swirls the entire fog, creating this vacuum, and it rushes out to kind of greet you as you're stepping through. the wooden doors. You see these large wooden doors that are for either wing of the Abbey are fitted with an iron winch, to which a rope and a bucket. I'm sorry. Gosh dang. In the center of the courtyard, there's a stone well fitted with an iron winch to which a rope and a bucket are attached. Along the perimeter, tucked under the overhanging wall, are several stone sheds. And as you're looking at these stone sheds, which are these and these, they're fitted with padlock. And the wooden doors are padlocked. Two wooden posts are pounded into the rocky earth, and they have iron rings bolted to them. And the one that you're referencing has a short humanoid with bat wings. And as you look more intently, the hands tied up above their head, you can see that even though their face is tilted down towards the ground, they have spider mandibles.
Oh, just one more thing. As during that whole conversation and this entire walkthrough, Anderson, he's been keeping his hands in like the pockets of his coat, just in case I need to pull that card again.
Okay.
I'm gonna slowly start approaching the bat spider creature. I'll probably stop once I get about 15 feet away.
Okay. It seems to pay you little mind. Let me go ahead and... It seems to pay you little mind. As you get closer, though, the three wooden sheds that are closest to you along that perimeter wall erupt with um, these cries, these shrieks, madness, just pleading for help, to be freed, to be fed. But the chained creature seems to make no action or even reaction to the noises that it's hearing.
The chains look pretty sturdy and looks like it's not
Honora
going anywhere.
is going to message in your head, "What are you doing? Get back here." You said
I'll
we needed to
walk
wait
away.
and gather information. Let's not touch anything.
Wasn't planning on touching anything.
Does this thing
Just observing.
look like anything I've ever seen before? Or would have heard about, or does it like seem wholly unique?
It's completely unique. Give me a second. I'll be able to. This creature, again, roughly humanoid shaped, about 4.5 feet tall, has long, stringy black hair that hides much of her face, but clearly visible from underneath of the stringy black hair, the spider mandibles that replace the human mouth, the arms and wings of a bat, as well as a cloven hoof in place of her right foot. So that's what you see, but you have never seen anything remotely close to that out in the wild. I mean, you've seen Cyrus Bellevue with the duck foot and like the wolf-like features, and even
I don't think Ramis has seen him.
oh, that was Radovan. Radovan, you haven't seen that either, I guess. Yeah.
No, I have.
Radavan's seen him.
Radavan
he
was
Ramis has
there.
not.
Oh, that's right,
Yes.
because he shape changed into a wolf or
Wolf,
whatever,
and
and
we played Ring Around the Rosie.
yeah. If you had to, I guess, make like a comparison, you would be able to know that it's similar, like in theory, to Cyrus, but wholly different as far as like physical composition.
Yeah, there's not really any like human parts, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, like
it's
the
kind of like a
torso,
humanoid, but
torso, the chest,
the belly button. Yeah.
the belly button, like even
The
the
left
face
leg
and
versus the
face and the
right.
eyes. Imagine like a human face, but only the mouth is spider mandibles.
Got it.
And you said that she's like crying about like why they won't feed her or something.
She has not responded at all. The creatures that
Okay,
are
she's-
coming from these back
Shed.
sheds,
Oh,
you don't
okay.
know. You don't know what's inside of it, but these ones seem to be under lock and key within these tiny sheds.
Did we interrupt your description of the courtyard or?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay,
I
okay.
guess right here you see some very large troughs that seem to have relatively fresh bits of slop that are kind of along the trough rim and also spilled out onto the ground.
Bloody slop?
Yummy.
No,
Just-
not bloody.
okay. Just brown.
Yeah,
and
just
yeah, nondescript.
yeah, gruel.
Got it. Okay.
Ramiz, what were you intending to do over here as you got within 15 feet?
Just looking, and I've never seen creatures like these before, so I'm looking for any common thread between them other than just a host of different animal parts just attached to the body.
Now,
she-
making very careful to distinguish that these do not appear to be like surgically implemented.
No, yeah.
These are grown, like physical transformations that have happened.
Mm-hmm. The spider bat girl, did she appear unconscious?
No, if you get up to the 15-foot mark, you can actually hear like this clicking noise coming from her direction, like this. Hold on. Like that type of noise, just like this almost raspy moan type deal, but only very croaky.
Does she look like before I double backed, did she look like she was beat or anything like that?
Make a perception check.
I love perception checks now. Oh, wow! Yikes! It's pretty terrible.
14's still decent.
You see
Yeah, but
some
he rolled a 2.
you see some bruising kind of around their wrist area, and they seem to be extremely malnourished, like seeing their shirt kind of tattered away on one side, exposing some kind of human like ribs, but that stomach is wholly sunken, and you can see just the entirety of their rib. And even some kind of minor bruising, I guess, like in the stomach-like area, as well as some
Okay, and
some healed over scars.
one last question then before let it back then. The two that escorted us into this area, did they seem as malnourished or maybe less so, or did they seem a little more well fed?
It was I'll allow you to roll a separate perception check for that. But yeah, I'll tell you what happens after that.
One second.
Bloop, 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 bloop. So what I
Eyes.
will say about, what I will say about that is they were, I don't want to say well dressed, but better clothed. Like they
Yeah.
had a cloak that went all the way over. They were actually wearing almost kind of like monastery like robes with just kind of like a just a hempen rope cinched around their stomach, which kind of would have hidden any of that information. Their faces already kind of looked deformed, so it was difficult to tell whether it was malnourishment. So yeah, unfortunately, not really able to tell, even with that extremely high roll. They moved around well, whereas you feel that if you were to let this woman down from her post, she would probably even have difficulty moving around how little food she had been given.
Okay.
Need just 1 second. I have to.
I think while you're doing what you're doing, I'll just relay to everybody else. I believe the woman on the post is being punished for something.
We'll find out, maybe. Might not be our business.
Is it clear that it's a woman?
I guess
You
for
said she, so that's
yeah,
why.
for
Yeah, yeah.
anatomical purposes, you would probably see a feminine kind of protrusion from the chest area.
Clock
Boobs,
that.
John. They're called boobs.
She got them fangs.
No, I heard anatomical protrusion. Yeah.
Oh, I can't
Okay.
wait to fondle my next set of anatomical protrusions.
Well, it depends on what area they're coming out of.
They're coming from the chest.
Well,
I'm
in
not
that
going to
case-
say that this spider lady is well endowed, but she has breasts, okay?
fine if she's well endowed, or she could be. I mean, it sounds like she is with those spider mandibles.
Chesticles or testicles? Which ones are they?
God. Want to know what them fangs do?
Milk or silk?
Well, anyway, in response to what Ramiz says, Radavan says, "Really, you think she's being punished? She's tied out here to a post."
Oh,
We don't know the laws here. We don't know what happened. We don't know who that is.
She could
We
be
have no stake in it.
like a dog or a pet.
I don't recall hanging any of my pets up by their forelimbs and
I was being sarcastic.
beating them bruised.
Yes, to me, it's obvious she's being punished.
But I've never seen people like this.
Me neither.
It's fascinating in a morbid sense.
All right, perfect. I found what I was looking for, and that's going to be exciting for later. Eventually, the creature that you had spoken with comes back out from this lower portion of the Abbey, and
For the record, she came out over here.
yeah,
correct?
I was just
Okay,
opening
cool.
it. Yep. The abbot will see you now. And as the door kind of remains ajar, she continues to walk past, and as she's getting closer to Temperance, a snake-like tongue kind of flicks out, and these eyes, these cat-like eyes, just pierce. Um,
I'll step closer.
it's not a. It's she doesn't stop to do it. She's doing it like as she's on her way out, and eventually the large wooden doors open again, kind of causing a swirl as the air vacuumed in, and the mist kind of just kind of swirls around you as the doors eventually close, and that creature is
Temperance
no
just
longer
kind of
in sight.
sneers at her and responds.
Anderson will look at Temperance and say, "I think she likes you."
Funny, I was gonna say the same.
Just pick one and give them the rose for your bachelorette contest.
I forgot Temperance had a thing for mongrel folk. That was just because she was talking shit at the entrance. Yeah. Okay.
Temperance is always talking shit.
I like the spider lady so far. I think there's something really profound there.
Oh,
that
wait,
you
you
can-
know, I like the lizard lady the most, I think.
Well, the lizard lady seems to like you, so that one might be a real connection.
Hyena boy's freaking me out, I'm not gonna lie.
He's nervous.
He finds everything too funny.
He's just a nervous boy.
Was I not supposed to see something?
No, you're fine.
Okay. I'll make my way towards the door.
Are we supposed to go in the door? I missed that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she opened up that door and she said the abbot will see you now.
Okay.
Does this water look all right? It's not. I assume it's probably not as clear as.
Hold on, did you look down into the well?
Yeah, I think
Nobody's
I
about to.
All right, everybody move their token back.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Last time we looked
Hey.
in well, it was bad. So
Look. There's no caution sign. It's like, hey guys, please don't look in the well. You know what happens when anybody looks in the well.
Well, the last 2 times we looked in wells, it never ended really well for us.
It's
Hey.
well.
Uh huh.
maybe they marked it.
What's
with-
going on in that well?
Show me that tang.
Okay.
I was gonna
the
stop
slang.
by the other
Then
body
that-
of water too. Would that have?
I mean, you couldn't have stopped by the body of water as you were walking up
Oh.
because like that would have been like you would have had to slide down 200 feet of hill to get to it. Like you were already well up into your
Yeah, we could
elevation as
check
you
it
were
when we're back in
looking.
town.
You were looking down at it. But yeah, you're more than welcome to once you get back to town. As you peer down into this well, you see, probably about 6 feet down, like this. The little light that is in this courtyard is reflecting off of these 6 beady red dots that appear to be staring back at you. You can see them kind of vanish independently, and you hear the same clicking noise that came from the chained spider bat creature.
This is looking up at me out of the water.
You can't see the water 6 feet down.
Oh. And it's I just see those eyes, I'm assuming they are.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just have a hand kind of pass around my scimitar handle and kind of move back to keep a wider berth and keep on going, I guess.
Okay. As you step away, you kind of get this, like you're cautious now having seen this. You guys can all kind of move back in your general direction where you were headed into the Abbey. But as you peer back, just trying to stay cautious, you see this creature, and as it sticks its head above humanoid head, same black spindly hair spider eyes on either side of its human face. It eventually climbs completely out of the well. The lower portion of its body seeming to be wet, the upper portion seeming to be dry. The leg of it, one of them, the shape of like a frog's leg, and it immediately leaps out towards the other spider-like creature at the stake, and it has a brief conversation of clicks and hisses before it leaps again on top of the sheds of this 15-foot wall that is on that eastern side, and then jumps over.
Jumps over like to the beyond that we can't see.
To the beyond that you can't see.
Did we hear the leaping?
You probably could have, yeah.
And we saw, I would
What the
have
fuck?
turned around and seen that, like, yeah, what you said.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine like Radovan sees the eyes, and then like it comes out, and he kind of like backs up, and then like is kind of squared off with it, but it seems to ignore him and go off to this other creature and does all that other stuff, and I'm kind of like stopped and like just watching it and haven't moved towards the door. And kind of
Right.
look back at you all to see if you guys all saw that.
Okay. As you get closer to this door, you see the sheds down on this section of the courtyard. Two of them flanking either side of the door into this section of the Abbey, and one of them, they have like this little tiny hole that's probably maybe only this big, maybe just enough to get an arm through. You hear these shrieks and these shrills again, and this hand kind of protruding through. Far fewer fingers than normal, only 3 fingers coming out. Much fatter, larger, longer, even, and also kind of scale-like. Just kind of extends from this hole, reaching out in your general direction. Still way too far away to be of any sort of threat.
Which door? The one to the north or the one to the south of the entrance?
Just so it's this door right here that creature had poked through.
And we walked straight into a horror movie.
Yeah. I'm
We knew that they were like
going to walk to
Cyrus.
that porthole. How far did that arm reach out? Maybe 3 feet? I'm gonna try to keep away from where.
No, probably
maybe
like
foot
maybe a foot and a half is all the further it made it through. Like as you look at this arm that's kind of sticking out, you can see that as it's going up further, what you would consider the forearm, it is getting bulkier, like very, very muscular.
I'm gonna stand about 5 feet away from the porthole,
Okay.
and maybe a loud whisper. What are you doing in there?
And you just hear this this noise, and you need to make a where is this saving throw?
Stop
Number?
touching
Okay.
things.
Didn't touch anything.
So close to touching
Stop
things. You're
touching
turning into
those
Nico.
Just stop having ears.
protrusions.
Just trying to be friendly to the weird
dang it.
misshapen things.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
They're not weirdly
Clearly.
misshapen. They're protrusions.
They were born that way. Thank you.
They'll like you better if you're
Lady
mean.
Gaga, take it easy there. All right.
We're not here for them yet. We're here for the
Oh,
Abbey.
Yeah.
okay. I need you to roll a D100 for me.
Oh,
You're fucked.
not yet. I've done this role plenty of time as Patton. What's? I'm not gonna say that.
Fireball.
Okay. For some reason, this shrill seems to pierce your core. You are normally a very strong-willed individual, having come across many of unsightly abominations in your past, spectral creatures, but for some reason, this noise unsettles you. Just the things that you have seen so far, you've now become incapacitated, and you're going to spend the next 10 minutes screaming, laughing, or weeping. Like just shuffling through those three emotions for the next 10 minutes, unable to move. Just immediately, as this noise happens, whoever was last to enter just sees Ramiz just crumpled down into a ball and just, first emotion, just start crying uncontrollably. After a few moments of that, maybe 30 seconds goes by, this laugh, this whimper, eventually turns into a maniacal type of laughter.
Am I able to suss out whether this is magically induced or not?
You can give me an Arcana check, I suppose.
Okay. Or maybe how about a like a
You can
I'll
give a
give you an
medicine
Arcana.
check if you want, or
That's
you
what I
can
was
tell me
thinking.
however you want to.
I guess like yeah, like does he seem like it altered in any other kind of way? I'm
Am I
just gonna like
bleeding out
run
of my
through the
eyes and nose and ears?
There's
yeah.
no bloody orifices with this this short-term madness.
All right. I look around and what are you guys doing?
We went in to go talk to the abbot like we came here to do.
Yeah,
So
John,
we
I
don't
Yeah,
even
think
see
I think you
this.
said only like the person who was entering in like
I said the
last
last,
like
yeah,
just
the
Oh,
last
okay.
few people, yeah.
So I think only
And
That's fine.
Donovan and Temperance would have noticed.
then I
I leave.
Leaves you. He just leaves you on the ground, doing the thing.
Whimpering like a fool.
went to say,
He also gets on the ground.
I say, hey, it's Ramiz. There's something wrong with Ramiz.
Those of you inside of the main hall already find that there is a calming music that is emanating this relatively fine, well taken care of room. This gentle sounding music kind of trickles down from above, played on some sort of single stringed instrument, just kind of plucking melodically. But you don't see a player. It's just a large, kind of 50-foot square room with arched leaded glass windows. A cauldron kind of sits on a iron rack above the fire in the hearth at the back of the room. And above that is a fireplace mantle that holds a large golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun. In one corner, a wooden staircase spirals up, while in another corner, a stone staircase spirals down. Several chairs surround this wooden table that stretches nearly the entire length of the room. Wooden dishware and gold candelabras are neatly arranged on the table. On one end, you can see just barely past the wall a dainty woman, kind of a tattered dress, very pale skin. You can definitely tell she has auburn hair that seems to be neatly bundled.
We just lost
Oh.
John.
Okay, it wasn't me. I was like,
Yeah.
It's not me either. I didn't infect.
John, no.
Oh no.
Am I?
he froze for a second.
Oh no. Wonder if it's Discord
no.
or something. What was the last thing you heard?
White dress.
Golden disc.
The last thing you heard was golden disc?
Yeah.
Okay. Past the golden disc, there's a wooden table that kind of spans the entire length of the room. Towards the lower portion of the room, next to a window, you see a very slender woman, auburn hair, kind of pale skin, her hair neatly bundled up to not touch her soft shoulders. She seems kind of lost in her own thoughts, not necessarily paying you any mind. And then,
Does she look familiar?
very difficult. I mean, I guess you could say that she has certain qualities. Like, I know what you're alluding to, so I guess you could probably draw that
Like a
conclusion.
sister or a cousin instead of a twin?
You can't even remotely close to see her face. So it would be difficult to see whether or not there's a resemblance with her face because she is looking out the window, not looking at you. But I
Okay.
guess her overall height, somewhat of a body shape, she seems a little more slender than Irina.
Okay.
And Irina?
Yeah, he's making copies of Irina.
Oh.
Missed all of that exposition?
No, I just didn't have it in mind when.
Oh yeah,
you
wait,
were
no, that might
describing
have
the-
been the episode where you were gone.
It could have been, absolutely.
Yeah, he's trying to make an Irina double.
You see, lastly, this is just at a glance. You haven't had a chance to interact with anything before Radovan will reach back out and let you know about Ramiz's blunder. But you see a handsome young man, a brown monk's robe, a painted wooden holy symbol that depicts a sun hangs from a chain around his neck, kind of moving behind this table back and forth as he studies a rather large, thick book. Also, not necessarily recognizing your presence as you enter, just kind of hand waving over top of the pages, humming to himself along with the music as he gracefully kind of struts back and forth. After having seen all of that, Radovan calls out and says it's Ramiz.
Oh hell. And Anderson will go outside to see what's up.
Temperance rolls her eyes and is like, he'll be fine.
Honora's at the same page, honestly. She told him not to touch things. She doesn't know that you didn't
He's got
actually touch
business.
anything, but
Okay.
so she'll step forward and try to make her presence known a little bit.
I'm going to give the three that are now outside just a quick opportunity to remedy the situation. Otherwise, they're going to be lost for 10 minutes.
Yeah, boys.
What are you guys, what are you going to do outside?
Ramis is
Ramis.
gonna cry and shit
Yep, I'm
himself.
gonna curl into a ball and just giggle to myself.
He just collapsed and started doing this.
Yes!
Yeah, actually, exactly that.
Where are the other two? Are they all right?
Yeah, they're just inside.
Well, I don't know if this was magic, but I think we should be on our guard.
Anderson, knowing nothing about like magic or anything, he'll just kind of go over to where Ramis is and just start like shaking him essentially.
What are you doing?
I don't know. He seems out of it. Just
Well, I guess at least you didn't kick him.
why would I? Never mind.
Let me see if this will work. I'm gonna cast. Goddamn. I'm gonna cast Greater Restoration on him.
Whoa.
Immediately, a flood of relief washes over you.
And does he stop?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Keep going.
No, I'm just gonna
Feels
sit
better.
here and giggle a little bit more.
Might still feel good, but you might still be.
I'm going to say, Radovan, as the weaver of this particular spell, and I like to envision that as you're casting this lesser restoration, you have these tendrils of this magic washing through his body, his mind, ridding it of this whatever ails him. You recognize that while it worked, there was nothing, at least at this point, that warranted that strong of a spell.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I think you picked up what I'm throwing down.
Yeah, that's very kind of you and generous. But yeah.
I mean,
not
I
as
would
big.
I would want
Yeah.
you to know
Yeah.
that in the future, at least
You
for
could
this,
kick him and he would be fine.
no, that a lesser restoration
I know.
would be,
Kick him twice. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a calm emotions.
Okay.
I don't know if you have
Pick him
calm
3
emotions.
times.
3 times.
3 times.
I do, but I don't know if the spell prepared.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe.
But yes, so now that happens, I imagine here, I'll let you know shortly afterwards when you're able to rejoin the group. But the two of you wandering further into the main hall, eventually the extremely handsome young monk-like figure averts his gaze from the book and now looks over at you. Oh, hello. I was told that I had visitors. It is good to see you. He places the book down on the table and almost kind of glides. Like this grace that he has, his body, his upper body just doesn't even seem to move as he's walking across the floor, sauntering around the table and coming up close to you.
I'll
Hi.
awkwardly curtsy as he gets closer, and then I'll elbow Temperance to do the same.
He's-
Temperance like goes very stiff and like just kind of like half bows.
The abbot extends a hand, and you can see his skin is radiant. Just not a single blemish or flaw to be found. His face immaculate, his hands perfectly manicured, nails. Just extends his arm out to kind of pick you up from your curtsy or your bow. And if you give him your hand, he will bow deeply and kiss it.
Oh yeah, I'll totally let him do that.
What brings you to...
She's like,
What brings you to the Abbey?
We heard rumors
Oop, ignore
that we might be beneficially inclined towards each other, and we thought we would come and explore it as an option. It seems our goals might align in a way, and we might be able to help you, and you might be able to help us.
Are you the abbot of this place?
Indeed, I am the Abbot, as some people have called me. That is the name that I have also taken for myself.
And you're an
I
enemy
thought
of...
you were gonna be old.
I'll elbow Temperance again. Be nice.
Why, I am very old, in fact, several 100 years old. I have been here for quite some time, actually.
Are you trapped here like us?
I suppose you could say that.
Well,
What is it that you think our goals are aligned on?
well, before we get into too many details, my companions are outside dealing with an incident. Maybe we should gather everyone together before and sit down and get to know each other a little better.
I will be here when you are ready. And walks back over to the book and picks it up and starts thumbing through, and then walks over to you see him walk over to the woman figure that's kind of staring out the window motionless, and he pinches the back of her arm and then pinches another spot further up and yes, and then walks back over, jotting something down in the book and continuing on.
Guess we could check on the boys.
Sorry, were we not? Did we not
I was
get
going to say that you were dealing with that out there, and then
Oh, okay.
eventually,
My
I'm gonna
mistake.
say as they're walking out to come get you, you three walk in, having the situation been remedied.
You guys done playing? We've got stuff to do.
Playing, he came down with some sort of affliction. I had to use a very powerful spell to remove it.
Oh, you're taking too long. Let's
We
go.
could have been under attack by something.
Well, not if we're polite and nice. No one seems to want to hurt us here.
One of your companions just dropped behind you and you moseyed on in here without a second thought.
Well, I'm sorry if he's getting himself into trouble.
Oh, they just single him out and target him and just let the rest of you walk in and be fine?
None of us have been attacked. Do you even know
Ramesh
what?
was.
Do you even know what attacked Ramesh? What if it's just his own
That's
personal?
the whole point. We're in a.
Radovan, you don't even know if anything attacked him. You're making assumptions. He could just have an affliction. We don't know
I
him.
can tell you, if you were to ask, instead of treating me like I was not here.
See,
just
he's
know
fine.
that-
Did you
just know
feel
that-
something?
I felt something creep into my mind. A weirdness. And know, Honora, that if you were to fall, that I wouldn't have just left you there to your own defenses, if you would have had any. I did not touch anything. It's only out of goodwill and good nature.
Look, if anything, this will teach us that we need to just go in and get out. And by the way, Honora, we're all in this together. And just continues to walk forward.
You know, it doesn't even have to be a kind out of kindness. If it's just your self-interest that you're worried about. One of our companions being down is not a good thing. You could soon be the next one.
I'm sorry, you guys have all jumped camp with a stranger that we've known for 2 days. Who comes in and orders us around and tells us what to do, and I'm just not on board yet. He says he's got the same goals as us, but I still haven't seen proof of it.
Can we talk about this later? I feel like there are more
Yes,
important things to deal with right now.
We need to move on from this.
We need to keep the peace here. We need to stop agitating everybody, and we need to get out, in and out, and get what we need. I agree.
Well, I think that one of us collapsing is something to be remarked upon, and just be on your guard.
And it absolutely should be, and you're right about that.
I've been on my guard. I didn't get attacked or collapsed or anything like that. I'm just saying that maybe he needs to be more careful.
Maybe you need to be a little less bossy yourself.
Sorry,
with
it just
that,
doesn't
Right.
make
Yeah,
any
I think
sense to
with
me.
that, I think we all
And-
just go inside.
Okay. Okay. Making your way back inside, you see the abbot then turn his gaze towards all of you and then close his book again. Ah, I see you're all ready to join me now, and sets the book down. And he comes over and looks at all of you, taking you all in. Looking back down towards you, Honora. I am pleased to see that the rest of your party is not all of such evil alignment as... And then turns over and looks at Temperance.
What are you talking about?
Well, you're being rather forward about things.
Your aura, all of your aura, I can see it. The Morning Lord allows me to see such things. Anyways, what is it that your alignment, your goals, that you think we are aligned on?
Well, if you'd like to have a seat, I can explain. You seem
We
wise.
can explain.
You may
Oh,
sit.
do you want to explain? Okay,
If-
you explain, Ramis, and I'm just gonna get up and walk out at this point.
I thought he said we can explain. Did I hear?
I did say we.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I understood what was said. But the abbot responds, you can sit if you would like. And he steps around to the opposite end of the table and motions for you all to take a seat at the closer side to you. He does
Alright.
not sit, however. He continues to walk and pace.
Radovan goes to the door. Tries to see which way Honora went.
I'm just pacing in the courtyard.
Okay. I stay there and just to keep an eye on her.
Okay. Kind of leaned up against the wall, peeking out the door, just making sure no... Okay.
That another one of our party members doesn't collapse in a fit of madness.
Gotcha. Makes sense. The three of you now, I imagine, seated in front of the abbot, pacing the opposite end of the table. What do you say?
Well, as she was explaining earlier, we have an issue that we are coming to you for that might be, well, could be mutually beneficial.
Yes, you had already mentioned that. What is this goal that you think that I am able to help with, and you to help me? Also, turning back to Temperance, have you read about the Morning Lord?
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
It's Lord and
Um,
Savior Lathander. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, sorry, Lathander.
I'm not particularly interested in anyone's religion. The last time I ended up taking part in one, it went poorly for everybody. You should keep that to yourself.
Well then, continuing on, looking back over at Anderson.
Before I say anything, can I ask you a quick question?
Why, of course. And he grabs three of the wooden kind of goblets that have been sat on the table and produces water in each of them. And as he's pushing them to you, Anderson, and you, Ramiz, he just slides them across the table. But Temperance, you can see before he slides a third thing of water, he says a small prayer, clutching his medallion, and then pushes it across to you. It is a long walk, and I'm sure you're all parched. Please.
Much
Temperance
appreciated.
slides the water back.
Burmese will also slide the water back, given what he's already experienced.
Anderson will. He'll sip of it. He's not like downing it, but he'll drink a little bit.
Okay. It's just water.
Cool. Had to be sure. Anderson kind of like leans over and asks, have any of the folks at Ravenloft given you trouble recently?
No. Why would you think that they would give us trouble here at the Abbey?
I don't know. And um so I know you said this with Honora, but I can see like the puppet, or what I assume, or the woman you mentioned earlier, right? I don't. Do I get the sense that that is the Irina he's trying to create, or did we establish that we don't know for sure?
The portion that you established was that she looks very much like from an outward appearance, but you were not able to see her face to know for certain.
Okay.
Like the a little more slender than Irina. You know, Irina had portions of plate armor and carried a sword. Would have been much more muscularly trained, right? Whereas this one just seems slender and dainty and not fully, you know, the same. Um, give me a perception check looking over in that direction.
All right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anything that I've told you is all that you're able to see at this point.
Okay.
If I may, my name is Remis. They call you the Abbot. This is Temperance and Anderson, you have been speaking to, but we haven't had the opportunity to address the young lady sitting on the opposite side, or standing at the opposite side of the table.
I do not feel that that is necessary at this point.
Why don't you feel like that's necessary? She's right there, isn't she?
She is not ready for display.
Display?
Indeed.
If you don't mind me asking, who is she?
That will depend on who you ask. I have given her the name Vasilka. And just at the name, like the head turns just enough to where you can recognize that she is responding to her name just by the slightest movement, but her hair is still covering her face. Like, even though it's kind of kept up and back a little bit, the strands of like bangs or wisps that weren't tied back are covering the side profile just
Uh,
enough.
Does the movement seem like robotic, or does it seem like natural, like this person would be alive?
It seemed pretty fluid.
Okay.
But if you were to eventually ask Strahd von Zarovich, I hope that he would refer to her. I just absolutely.
Tatiana.
Tatiana, thank you so much. Refer to her as Tatiana by the time I am finished.
Is there a sense of eagerness to please Strahd in his voice?
Make an insight check.
It's precisely what I would like to do.
Very much so. Like, he wants Strahd to approve of this more than anything.
I see. And I look over at Anderson with a little bit of a worried look at this point.
Anderson will kind of speak up and say, "You're hoping he'll refer to her as Tatiana. Um, if you don't mind my asking, have you received an invite to a wedding by chance?"
I have, but I probably will not be attending, especially if I cannot figure out how to make this work.
You really want her to be seen as Tatiana then?
Indeed.
Well, we might be able to help you out with that then.
I'm trying to create a world with less suffering. By that I mean the game would be over, the chase could be over. Every time Strahd has gotten close to achieving his goal, something bad happens. His love dies, sometimes very purposeful, horrid deaths.
So what you're saying is Irina is temporary, but and then Anderson gestures over to um
Vasilka,
I'm
or
going to refer to her as just a puppet. I don't know
okay,
what else to say. He gestures over at her and says, "But Tatiana is forever." Is that what you mean?
yes, she will obey anyone's commands that I make her. I am the creator of Vasilka or Tatiana. If I have her obey Strahd's every word, then she will obey Strahd's every word, and Strahd could possibly be happy.
And the
What?
cycle might be broken.
Indeed, that is my hope. Sent here by the Morning Lord hundreds of years ago, I made it my divine purpose to try to heal, to find a remedy to break the curse, the cycle.
Well, you see, we're actually trying to do much the same, break the cycle, trying to help out the people of this land.
Well,
And,
get out of here.
well, that is at least part of it. Thank you. But more importantly, I agree with you. Even if Strahd marries Irina, it won't end. History says it won't end well. And I think Tatiana here might be able to help us out with that. Getting Irina out and thus avoiding the suffering.
What are you missing to make Vasilka here ready?
Basilka is and the flesh golem. Um, could you come here, please? And this woman kind of twirls, and her dress, while somewhat tattered, kind of spins very gracefully. And she's keeping her head down and up and away from you. And as she gets all the way up next to the abbot, she comes to face him face to face. And you can see the side profile looking at her. Ramiz, you get sort of a better glance. It is hideous. The facial structure underneath of the flesh causes drooping. The skin in excess in places, stretched in others. The bone or the skull or the facial structure that was used to create is not even close to Irina's, and it looks hideous. Every other part, as she's now closer, you can all see the stitches that hold the flesh together tightly around the muscles. Seems very well crafted. The hands delicate, the skin pulled taut, seems to contour just perfectly to be barely recognizable as anything that would have been crafted. Um, and even some of the spots where the stitching has since fallen out, there does not appear to be any sort of scarring left behind. But the abbot turns to Vasilka, staring into her eyes. Would you face our guests, please? She bows and turns to face you all, looking at you one by one, and then stands waiting her next order. The abbot chimes in. As I'm sure you can see, her face is lacking. Unfortunately, none of the people in Krezk have the same bone structure that I require. I need a solid foundation to build from in order to create the perfect replica.
Foundation, you mean someone that looks like her?
Precisely.
And I assume you might think it'd be better if they weren't exactly alive.
If they were alive, that would be all the better. You see, the bone structure would be more intact. The longer it has sat in the ground, the longer it could be subject to deterioration. But with the Morning Lord at my side, I should be able to create something with the deceased. I believe there is a suitable corpse to be found in the ruins of Bariz.
We've been there.
Do you know the history behind the ruins?
Only a
Do te-
little.
Do tell.
Radovan, if you remember, you touched on it with them just a little bit.
Yeah,
But
I do. I almost like spoke out there because like a lot of this stuff is not adding up for Radovan. But he just like with the current situation, he's deciding that it's better to just listen now and make deductions or accusations later. So he's just gonna like keep an eye on Honora and let these three try to
speaking
come up with
of
something.
Honora,
Yeah,
how's your character doing out there? It's probably about
she's pretty mad.
10 or so minutes have passed.
Yep.
Okay.
You know those shower arguments you have with yourself
Okay.
when you're mad at people that you love and care about?
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
You love and care about Ramiz?
Not
No.
at all.
But
You
she loves and cares about Anderson and Temperance and Radovan, and they're taking the Remy size in her eyes. So she's super upset about the whole thing. You know, it's that extreme emotion. You know, like maybe it's better if I just leave, like Panton did. Maybe nobody does really want me here. I see how it is. New person comes in, and he's just so much better at everything because
Wait,
he's
so-
taller.
One sec. Are you like actually verbalizing this, like
I'm
pacing?
mumbling to myself. So with your incredible hearing, you could probably get it.
Radovan's gonna come and see if you're going mad.
Uh,
It's a restoration. All emotions.
yeah. So it's just that sort of like frustration. Like she can't actually verbalize any of this stuff to anybody because nobody's taking her seriously. She's still grieving. It's been 2-3 days since Panton left that really awful letter that blamed her for everything. This guy comes in and just waltz in, and everybody seems to really like him off the bat, and she's just feeling really picked on. So there's just a lot of that going on.
Well, in that case, so if she starts like muttering to herself and like pacing and stuff, yeah, I'm gonna probably go, and I'll probably won't have heard a lot of that stuff. Which
Yeah. So if you turn and you look, you'll see tears. She's been crying. She's mad and frustrated and hurt and
Alrighty.
are you all right?
what do you want? What do you care?
At least you're
Go back to
responsive.
Vermees. He's more important anyways. I'm fine out here.
What are you talking about? What do you? Why?
Can't leave
why
him
are you
behind.
letting?
Just go.
Why? Why would I leave anyone behind? I'm surprised you did.
I didn't
Didn't
know
seem
that
like
he was.
the type.
He should have stayed together with us.
He was. He was right behind me, and then he keeled over all of a sudden. What is it? What is it with you and that one? I know he's new, but I was new at one.
Oh.
Always doing the parts where he has to talk.
I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm almost positive it's like a driver issue that's causing him because he got a new computer and it's been happening since that.
Broke the immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What were you saying?
And
Did I ask? I think I said, like, what is it with you two?
Doesn't it seem suspicious to all of you? I can't believe you guys have just welcomed him with open arms, given the circumstances.
Right. Look, you're saying you all. I can only answer for myself, right? I don't know him. He's offered us his aid. We are
Doesn't
looking
it
for
seem
allies.
suspicious? His timing is suspicious, Radovan.
And you hear that noise coming from behind you, above, and Radovan, as you kind of turn to inspect, you are met with a surprise attack from this stealthy spider-like creature leaping from the building now, and is going to, with the surprise round, make a claw attack and a bite attack.
Oh no.
First one is 7 for a claw, and second is 13 for the bite.
With my elven agility, though,
Is that
it's
an
almost
actual
as
thing?
if I defy gravity, and the quick way that I dodge and weave, and these attacks miss.
Okay.
Make no purchase on my beautiful elven skin.
At this point, I will scream at the thing and be like, "We came in peace. What are you doing, Radavan? Get behind me!"
Go ahead and
And I'll
roll
step
an
forward.
initiative for me.
Okay.
This one should be pretty quick, but
Do I hear any of that with my superhuman perception?
There is music playing in that room, isn't there?
there is music. I'm
Good initiative.
gonna say with the door closed.
Did you close the door, Radovan?
I mean,
No.
I imagine he's like a super
But
polite
it might be
person,
one
so
of
I
those ones
imagine he
that,
would
it
have.
just closes.
I'm
Just
gonna
closes.
say that you hear faint noises of what sounds like Honora yelling, but are unable to kind of make out the words, given the fact that she kind of got shitty and stormed off anyways. It doesn't necessarily immediately draw your attention to think that she's in danger, but potentially more just venting frustration or even yelling at Radovan as you kind of turn and realize that he's not there. Okay. Radovan, you're able to immediately act. We don't even have any combat music for this one.
Should have attacked us, John. That's what my
Should've
character
been out
would
in
do
the
with the
fucking
correct
Abbey.
response.
I will disengage, and
As an action?
I will, yeah,
Okay.
and I will go over here, and I will open the door. And how would I word this?
Fucking
Please help, one of your
spider.
people are attacking me.
We're under attack. If you're the lord of this place, please call your creatures off. And that'll be my turn.
Pretty diplomatic.
Except for calling them creatures. They are
Alrighty.
people.
That one was a creature.
It is going to, realizing that you disengaged. It swipes at you as you're leaving, but like not as a reaction or anything like that. It's just flavor. But you don't. You're not scathed.
BRB.
Seeing that you're. Yeah. Okay. This one will be quick. Honora, it is going to attempt to leap off. I'm going to give you the opportunity for an attack of opportunity, as this is kind of like a hit and run type tactic that it uses. And it is going to try to run, so go ahead and roll to hit.
I'm gonna reach out and grab its arm.
Okay, so a grapple.
No.
Sentinel, I think.
No.
Vampiric.
Jesus.
Vampiric cat.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and.
God, you critted it too.
Where do you think you're going?
And that
Yeah,
heals
grab its
you,
arm.
right?
It does, but I don't need any healing. It's just I want her to do it.
Okay.
You just wanted to inflict.
Just
Give me
feel it a little.
Yeah.
Give me a D100.
Okay.
Your turn. It's not a 24, so
Oh, that would have been
I don't know if that's
hilarious.
good or bad.
yeah, I don't know. I think the higher you go, the worse it gets.
I think it's always bad, but it's just what kind of bad? A 53 bad? A 24 bad.
Oh no, he's consulting.
I'm not consulting. I'm just not saying it out loud.
Oh.
Oh, he's messaging me. Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Time for Nora to turn like officially evil.
Ah.
Come join.
Oh no.
For 1 second, right, John? 1 second.
1 year.
Whatever the bad thing is, it's just for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, so 25 points of damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you just absolutely like
Suck the life out of this thing.
yeah, absolutely. You can see blood pouring from every orifice. It's spider mandibles for the mouth, just trickling blood and like this venom like substance. And it is just like from its eyes, all freaking 6 of them that are red, as well as the humanoid eyes that are on the front, just dripping blood. It is gravely injured.
Okay. I like to keep my hand on it and like actually grab it, and then I want to drag it into the Abbey with me, throw it on the floor, and be like, "This is how you treat guests."
And as you do that, and it spills onto the ground, just coughing up blood and just making this awful just noise. The abbot walks over. All of my unruly abominations have been locked up. I assure you that this is purely an accident. And walks over and casts a healing touch on it to bring it back to full, and then I guess that'll be his turn. Do any
How
of
close?
you
I
else?
tossed him in front of me. Radovan, are you standing that close to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of the end of your turn as you drag it in and throw it
Mhm.
onto the ground.
Yeah.
Radovan, do you do anything with this creature? I guess the abbot's not quite over there yet.
Oh, I mean, no, it seems like already pretty
What about the
beat
rest
up.
of you? Do any of you do anything?
Anderson just kind of gets up from like his chair. He's not moving, but he's like standing up now, just at the ready, just like looking to see what happens.
Might get
Ramiz
out of the
would,
way, I guess. Like if she's gonna throw it, well, that would be another attack of Well, it's my turn. Is that what I'm doing? I would maybe disengage and move on the stairs.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's all.
Ramiz would probably get up immediately, knocking the chair over, and pull or knock an arrow and hold
knock.
to see what the abbot is doing
Okay,
with this
Temperance.
thing. This is the one that came out of the well,
Yes,
correct?
this is the one that came out of the well. That is correct. Temperance, are you doing anything?
Yeah, I think Temperance gives it like a shoulder turn around and like kind of readies her hand for a little Eldritch Blast if need be.
Okay, so holding action in case of violent movement, and the abbot will go over and reach down and touch the head of this creature and use its action to heal it for 20 HP. And then I guess Honora, you have the opportunity to act again.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to attack it with my sun sword.
Alrighty. with advantage, so 20, 21, because it's prone.
Mhm.
You, I'm just going to say for flavor, so this is over with. Um, this is like a coup de grace type moment where, as it's laying down, its head just kind of barely lifting, the strength of it just drained from the vampiric touch, and as it receives the healing, it kind of gets the reinvigorated. But as soon as that happens, you like staring at the abbot just plunges it right through the back of the skull, and it just falls limp, dead.
What did you do?
Um, what do you mean? It attacked us. I was defending Radovid. What? What's going on?
I look at the abbot, looking at what he does.
Shame. I thought this was locked up. He must have found a way to get out. His sister was being very uncooperative. We had to chain her to a post.
The one outside.
What do you mean by cooperative?
Aggressive, hostile.
This one was aggressive too.
Oh, they're all aggressive.
Not all. The ones that I trust are out, free to walk among the Abbey. There's Siegfried, Otto, and my personal favorite, Colvin.
Did you make these people?
Unfortunately, yes. And as he picks up the limp body, it appears his suffering has ended now. Cloven. I said Colvin the first time, it's Cloven. Cloven. And this creature comes up from the cellar. I'm not going to drag a token out yet. All right, I lied. I will. This one's my personal favorite.
It's got a baby head.
What the?
Oh, it's like Total Recall.
Yeah,
But
it's got a
instead of
baby
on
head.
So does that count as contestant 9 and 10 for temperance?
It's definitely a package deal.
It's a twofer. Yeah.
It comes up, and as you're looking at this creature, you can see. Let me pull up the notes.
Gotta be careful with those little ones, though.
They're feisty.
You can see that its right head is fully formed and combines the features of a patchy-haired man with those of a goat, having stubby horns protruding from his skull. His second head, his left head, much less formed, about half of the normal size, very soft, almost cherub-like features. It is partly covered with kind of a crocodile-like hide. As you assess the rest of Cloven's body, you see that he has a crab's pincer in place of his left hand, and a bear paw in the place of his right foot. Again, has the two mongrel folk that you had met before that seemed to be of normal temperament, wears kind of an ill-fitting monk's robe with a belt of hempen rope. comes up. Who are our guests? And the abbot responds, never mind that for the moment. Could you take care of our less fortunate? Yeah, yes. And walks down and picks up the limp dead body and walks out. Please bury him right this moment. With a nod of his head, he walks out, closing the door behind, carrying this limp, alien-like figure. I'm so terribly sorry for that disturbance. I was just getting ready to tell the tale of how you can assist if you would like to join. If you would please put your weapons away. I do not believe there is any additional threat.
I'll do a quick glance around. Take a deep sigh, put the sun sword away.
Does anybody need to make pee-pee time?
Sure. Let's
I mean,
go
up to
pee
you.
time.
Yeah.
I do.
Already
They
made
want
my pee pee.
cookies, so
I don't mind pee time.
All right,
Time.
real quick.
Pee time.
So, with that being said, Radovan and Honora, do you join the table?
Yeah.
And do the rest of you kind of put any held actions away?
Yeah, I'll put the bow and arrow away, but I'll look at Anderson and that seemed incredibly brutal.
Anderson just kind of is like, I mean, he was just glaring at the situation, but just very slowly takes his hand off his sword, and without saying a word, goes back to sitting down and just kind of glares up at the abbot.
Gosh dang it! Let go of it.
Mine?
No,
map.
I'm trying to let
Oh.
go of the map. It won't let me get rid of it.
So yeah,
It
you'll
wants to
see
hold your hand, John.
It did for sure.
you'll see Honora come sit at the edge of the table. You can see the tear streaks from the dirt in her face, and she'll just kind of sit down and she'll be looking down and she won't really say anything to anybody.
But the abbot, where was I? I believe I was about to tell where you can find the remains that I require. The
Breeze, you said.
the ruins of Bariz. Once there was. Well, I suppose I'm getting off of track. Are you familiar with the way the souls are recycled here in Barovia? When one dies, your soul does not leave
Right, it stays here.
and reincarnates sometime in the future. So, Tatiana has had multiple lives. This was one of them. Strahd always finds out. And rather than allow Tatiana to come under Strahd's spell, the burgomaster and several of the high-ranking officials murdered her in cold blood, almost as a mercy to stop her from coming under Strahd's spell. When this happened, Strahd himself went into a frenzy of sort, flooding the entire area and slaughtering hundreds of lives. The ruins are all that remains of the town.
With the name of Tatiana, I'll bring out the diary that we got translated. Put it on the table.
The diary you had, the Tome of Strahd. Um, do you just set it on the table, or do you are you giving it to him, or are you making reference to it?
Just set it on the table for now.
Set it on the table. He doesn't necessarily react to it much. Because they did it in a form of saving her, they made a burial site and had a statue placed over top of her. Her bones should still be intact there, as they were on higher ground. If you were to want to assist in making the flesh golem even better than what she is now, clearly not in an acceptable form to present to Strahd, I will require the skull of Tatiana from that site, or alternatively, if you knew where the real Tatiana was, we could use her skull.
I will stand up at that. Like, you're not. No. We're here to save Irina.
Temperance
Tatiana,
just kind of sighs.
Tatiana has had many life cycles of suffering. Would you not sacrifice one more life of suffering so that all can be free forever?
Look, harming Irina is out of the question. And that
Does it have to
and-
be?
yes,
It has to be
that's
her
clear.
choice. If it's something that involves her, it needs to be her choice. If she wants to go that route. But we can't ask her. She's his prisoner at the moment.
Radovan, you look perplexed. I see your wheels turning.
What does this guy look like again?
He's very pretty.
Now, John,
He's a
Imagine,
hottie.
imagine like
Fabio.
not quite. I don't find Fabio attractive even in the slightest.
I don't either, but
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
I'm trying to think of a really attractive, like
Fabio works.
a cleanly shaven, short hair, basically.
Evans.
Sure, you could do a Chris Evans. No, very very muscular underneath of his robes. Just like skin immaculate. Like,
I like Fabio. Yeah, that's what I'm imagining.
oh god.
All works.
Yep. That one.
I guess maybe a young Fabio, not the fucking old wrinkly ass that he is now.
Oh.
With the jowls.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, obviously not that Fabio.
No, the romance cover novel, Fabio.
Yeah.
now, DM, quick
Yeah, I'll allow that.
out of character question for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yes.
We know that his creations have been robbing graves. Did they have they already robbed the place that he's sending us to? Like, did we know?
He may not know that the hag is dead.
Like, does he know? Like, have they robbed graves just like right outside the houses, or have they been to the burial site that he is sending us to? Has that been mentioned?
No. He has not even said. I guess the only thing
We
that
know
he
graves have
said.
been robbed. I guess I just don't know where
Yeah.
specifically.
So he
Just
said.
in town.
Yeah, he had said that unfortunately none of the remains within Krezk have been sufficed to create Tatiana's face. He has not mentioned whether or not he has ventured out, and you would not necessarily know whether or not the burial site that he's asking you to go to in the ruins of Breeze is still intact, as you did not visit it when you were first there, as you didn't necessarily know of its existence.
Yeah. I guess I just
And
didn't.
kind of had other
yeah.
problems to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah. Okay.
So, will you be able to help me in this venture? Unfortunately, I have had to stay here as I do not trust the
Trust?
others to maintain their family while I am gone.
Did you tell him about the other request?
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
If we were to this Beriz. Is there any way that you can give us passage?
I'm sorry. Give you passage where? Where do you seek to go?
To this Beriz. To
If I had
fetch the
means,
skull.
if I had means of quick travel, do you not think that I would have gone myself?
I
This-
don't know if
I do
there
not.
was something.
I apologize. As I'm sure you are aware, we are under a bit of a time crunch. The wedding announcement caught me by quite the surprise.
Yeah, we have 11 days.
We know about the souls recycling this place. How do you know about that?
I pray. I have received a lot of information from prayer.
And your deity speaks to you in this place.
And kind of a chuckle. Of course, why would the Morning Lord ever abandon me? I came here on a holy journey because of him. I have maintained connection this entire time.
Okay. Another out of character question. Did I wasn't Nico having trouble communicating
So
with
much trouble.
Lathander?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, did he make that did he tell us about that?
Yeah, that was
He
very
did.
obvious.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
big thing for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was also yes, that is true, and so this is kind of. But I mean, there was also like a distinction made between the two.
Lathander
somewhat.
and the Morning Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's not entirely implausible. Like,
And I mean, his
obviously,
connection
like,
wasn't severed; it was just muffled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that, like, because I mean, I've been thinking this whole time that Morning Lord and Lathander are like pretty much one and the same. I
They
just wanna-
are.
Yeah,
But
they.
they're not.
If I were to give it a real life characteristic, it's probably like the difference between like, I don't
Allah
know.
and God.
Yeah,
Different
just
names with the same character.
basically different names, same deity, different scriptures, just because different fucking people wrote them.
that's heresy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
heresy.
On that then.
But
Can I
yes,
roll to
you
see-
yeah,
We're
you
laughing
can
about it
give me
now,
give
but-
me a
Yeah, I want to see this dude's
I
full of
used to
shit.
kill people for this.
You want to see if this
Kinda
guy
wanna-
is insane?
I kind of want to feel like not having knowing Nico and his
There we
history
go.
just seems really like high on himself, and I just want to hear I just want to see if I can think he's just bullshitting, or can I roll the same insight?
yeah, sure you can.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Temperance isn't gonna roll. She just thinks he is bullshitting.
He tried to make you drink holy water. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right, that's fucking rude.
It's very passive aggressive of him.
Okay, so she's evil, so she rejects religion. You don't need to push it on her.
1 second. I'm having a private with Temperance.
Oh, why would you say that?
Doesn't seem very private.
It's no longer private.
It's privately public.
Yeah.
We gotta hack the Gibson.
So
You could have just said you were
spiced
texting June, and then we wouldn't have questioned it, and then Temperance would have gotten the message and been like, "Ooh." sure your skin burns. You witch, you.
Ouchie, ouchie.
All right. So, insight check, Anderson. Knowing what you know, and even that, he is very convinced, very devout, 1000% sure that he is speaking with his God.
So he has convinced himself. Okay.
That is, I mean, if we know
Yeah.
anything about,
Or he has been convinced,
Yeah.
just like that far.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to.
It's what faith is. It's basically
convincing
believing-
yourself, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
believing in everything, with your whole heart. That's actual faith. So he's got
How
faith.
many of us are atheists in this group?
I'm just agnostic, but
Same.
Yeah.
anyways,
Simulation.
it's a simulation. Fuck, man, sometimes I wonder. Anyways, your insight tells you that he is extremely confident that he has been communing with his God. He believes it 1000%.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You want us to spend days fetching some bones so that we can maybe make a version of this that's more palatable?
That we
How
don't
long-
even know
how long-
are there.
How long would it take to fly to Belize?
You could get there in like an 8-hour span.
When you say days, Radovan coughs.
I would say to get there to, what is it, exhume? Is that the right word? The
It is.
grave?
Yeah.
To dig up the bones. Yeah, to loot the burial site.
Loot the coffin,
Grave
yeah.
rob.
And
Yeah.
to get back would
Grave.
take like a 16-hour span.
So a day.
Yeah, like an entire day
Ow! We just lost our transportation.
would take an entire day to do all of that.
Okay.
Anderson.
Barring that there's no issues.
Anderson like looks around the table and says, "Can I have a moment to discuss this with everyone in private?"
Please leave your home so we can talk about you.
We can step outside if you want.
Tis fine. I will take Vasilka for some daily training. Come, Vasilka.
And he reaches out his hand and she grabs it very gracefully, and they stride out of the main hall.
So creepy.
There's a butterface.
So hot.
Literally a butterface.
Big fucking true. There's not a paper bag thick enough.
Maybe a pillow sheet.
Hey, veils do a lot of work.
Yeah, not a chance in shit. Anyways,
Just don't have to kiss her. That's
you
all.
are alone in the room. At least you think you are.
Strahd's
Well,
here,
yeah.
it's fine.
Why you gotta frame it?
He's
like
got
that?
nothing better to do than follow us around. I understand how it goes.
There are paintings on the walls that have human eyes. No, I'm just
Anderson will kind of
I'm gonna
like
do, like,
motion
one of
his.
these.
Anderson will like motion his head towards like the door.
it is
as-
shut.
Oh, he was gesturing to like go outside, like not in the house with someone in the basement.
Who's in the basement?
Didn't someone
Cloven.
come up? Oh wait, no, he went out to go bury the body. He's not even in the house.
Yeah, so he's not
Right.
downstairs.
Well,
I mean,
There
but
could be something upstairs or
Yeah.
there
more
could be a
things
graveyard
downstairs.
in the basement. It could be really weird. He's saving bones.
A murder show in the attic.
You know, you never know. This is how
Well-
get away with.
But we
murder
know that
starts.
there's an audience if we go outside because there's all the mongrels locked up.
I mean, but they don't seem like they're
Okay, wait,
able to speak really
hold on.
from what we saw.
Radovan sets his pack down, and
He does.
Radavan.
Radavan?
sorry, Radovan. Sorry, Ramise. Yeah, I'm taking Radavan's
Don't
character
tell
over.
Joseph what his character's doing.
Right. So
Ramise.
rude.
Ramise
Ramise
takes his
removes the
pack down.
mask.
There you go. Removes his pack, and he produces a bundle of rope, and with a few arcane words. Where the fuck is it?
Starts with an R, ends in a trick.
Yes, it does. There you go.
Oh,
He
rope
will.
trick.
Yeah.
Yes.
What were you thinking?
There's a lot of words that begin with R.
But how many spells end in trick?
I wasn't thinking spells. I was thinking
Oh.
anything.
So, he will say a few words, and the rope will begin shimmying up, and then sort of kind of disappears into nothingness. We have
What do you expect us to do with that?
climb. It's private.
Is there a bell at the top of the rope?
No, there's no bell. There's a little hole. There's a spot that we can sit and discuss this without prying eyes and listening ears.
I can get on board with that. Anderson will begin to climb the rope up.
Alrighty. Anybody that wants to, I'm just gonna say you're easily able to climb the rope. I'm not gonna make you make athletics checks to climb up there.
Temperance
I
kind of
will.
looks over to Nora before she does anything,
Yeah.
as like a check-in.
It's horrifying as Anderson disappears into whatever.
Into nothing.
Would I know this magic? If this is a ranger spell, do I have the spell?
It is
Do
a
you?
ranger spell.
Is it a ranger only or is it a ranger
I
druid?
think it might be a ranger only spell,
It might be a ranger only spell.
but
No,
maybe I would have known of it. Really?
I
Let's
could
look.
check.
There are some ranger only spells.
There are. They don't.
Hunter's
But
Mark.
not a lot of them. Wizard and artificer as well.
But not druid.
Not
No.
druid. Wizard and artificer. Go fucking figure.
Actually, I could learn it. And
Just
so could
because
Ira.
you have access to certain wizard spells.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try to see if it's safe because I see these two.
It's
being
only the
suspicious
Gloomstalker
about
ranger
it.
that gets it. It's not even a
Yeah.
ranger standard spell.
Yeah. You can give me an Arcana check, I guess.
I got a
You did.
9.
Yeah.
Oh, you did. It's difficult to tell. How long do you wait outside of Anderson and whoever else disappeared up into it?
I'm climbing up right behind Anderson.
Yeah. Even if your arcane or your arcana was less than stellar, seeing the creator of the rope crawl up, you get the assumption that he wouldn't just climb to his own doom.
Okay. Well, unless our ally is some powerful genie who's going to turn on us when we climb up the rope, I think we can maybe put a little bit of trust in someone. I'll go up.
Uh-oh.
It's a quiet space for us. But I'll
Well,
go
that's
after
what he
you.
says it is.
Then I'll climb back down.
To
I didn't disappear.
motion them.
Yeah.
Got it. Alrighty.
You're not coming?
I'm coming.
Very well.
I'm
So-
very last and very hesitant and very slow about it.
With everyone now in this space being
Need everybody to take 6d6 necrotic damage. I'm kidding.
You get to see outside, right? Isn't that what it says?
You can
There's
see
a
down.
window.
Yes. Yes.
Um, but you have your own private little space to say
When
something.
everybody is up, I pull the rope right up so nobody can come in. No, we don't have a lot of time in here, but I don't think we need too much time to discuss what needs to be discussed.
Perhaps. I don't make any assumptions. There's something wrong about all this.
Yeah,
You don't say.
something's off.
And
You
I
mean the
don't
healer that's making mongrels seems off to you?
Keep that up, and I'll push you back down. But anyway,
Yes,
more importantly,
it's more than that though. That's the obvious thing. I just can't figure out what he is. And he seems to be fervently devoted to his god, a god that I've known. The humans, they
we well, Honora and I knew someone who was a follower of Lathander, or the Morning Lord. He had a lot of issues connecting to Lathander. The fact that this person is so convinced he has like perfect connection, I don't know. Just doesn't seem right to me.
well, that,
Well,
and then how do you explain? I mean, what is he? He's been around for centuries. I've heard of this obscure healer, this
But Radavan, doesn't your kind
miracle
live a long
worker.
time?
I didn't see any pointy ears on him.
I'm just saying that it's possible that he's a longer lived race, just because he looks human.
I
I'm
suppose.
very concerned that he seems so eager to please Strahd as well.
Is that what he said?
It
Yeah,
is.
he seems pretty convinced that he wants to help Strahd out by making Tatiana.
You guys didn't mention that our plan was to kill Strahd?
No, because he's probably allied with Strahd.
Well, then, yeah, we should abandon quest. If he's allied with Strahd, we just leave.
We just don't
But we
know
can
that yet.
use what he's making for our gains.
The golem.
The golem.
That's a bit of a reach.
I don't think he'll let us have it, or it, her.
He wants us, or he wants to use it to break the cycle, as you put it.
He's the one who
And in
has
a way, so do
control.
we.
And he explained how this worked. How? I thought we had to kill Dampier to break the cycle.
Well, he said that every single time that this Tatiana was close to being captured by Strahd, that she would meet some demise, and thus his murderous rage would go on. But the creation of this creature, it would obey him and only him if he allowed it. And, well, it won't die. It won't kill itself. And unless some extraordinary force comes out and destroys the creature, perhaps Strahd would be satisfied.
Like, it doesn't even have to be true, but maybe if he believes it's true, we can take advantage of that and put the doll in Irina's place while we get Irina out, like you said.
Do any of you think Strahd would accept her if he knew the truth of what she is?
Why would we tell him the truth?
Again, this is all
Precisely,
just a
I'm
big ruse.
Wondering if he found
I'm
out.
afraid that the abbot would tell him the truth. If Abbott's on his side. Radovan makes a good point.
I don't know if the abbot would say anything because he seems just as interested in breaking the cycle, and by revealing the lie, puts his plan in jeopardy.
So his motivation is to break the cycle and lessen the suffering of the place overall, even if that means helping Strahd through deceiving him. Is that your take?
That's how it seems.
What I'm feeling, and as much as I loathe to help the creature lessen its suffering, the goal is to help the people. And if we can stop the creature Strahd from suffering or causing the suffering of others.
What about the great curse of this place?
No, we have to destroy him. We have to destroy everything he stands for. We can't just let him be happy in the sunset with fake Tatiana, no matter how good his puppet is.
And I want to destroy Strahd just as much as Anderson and you. But at least this would be a distraction, so more people don't suffer needlessly. And then
They'll suffer needlessly anyway. They're trapped here.
then we can get to our end of the plan, the final goal, without Strahd actually hampering us.
But the only
I
way
think
we
it'll
know
save
to
the
get
creature.
out is,
Sorry.
well, one of the ways for all of us to get out is to defeat Strahd. I don't know of any other way to leave, except with the help of the
Yeah.
Vistani, and they cannot be trusted.
Look, I would only use the golem as just a quick distraction, because we're gonna make the way I'm thinking about this is we're gonna make an all-out assault on Ravenloft, and we get Irina out of there, and we put the golem in her place, and that'll buy us enough time and to get him distracted.
So we want to
You-
pick up this resource not having a concrete plan in mind, but hoping that something will present itself when this all goes down.
You also talk about hunting this vampire who controls Strahd. Do we know where this vampire is at?
Roughly.
Can we get to him?
Not
until we get out
Markovia.
of here.
One thing at a time.
But Strahd's gotta die. He doesn't get his happy ever after.
So then we don't use Krezk.
Sounds like it. If you guys
we-
get
Oh,
bad vibes from this guy and first off, what he's asking of us will take time. Time we really don't have. Secondly, the whole part of the plan that is shaky is the changing out the doll for Irina. It
And
sounds
weren't you the one who suggested it though?
if it was ready,
well, we'll have
But-
time. This is our
We can't-
opportunity to
we can't give
wire
that
this
thing
resource.
to Strahd.
11 days till the
So
wedding.
if we're not,
Does it seem like I mean, I know the face was a total disaster and whatever, but did it seem like the rest of the parts were
She was too skinny. He said that earlier. I'm just repeating it for you.
She's she's more slender. The stitches for the body are still in. Some of them have fallen out, probably the ones that were created first. So, again, there is still several days before the wedding, and he is still actively working. I can't remember who I was explaining it to, but you saw him go over and actually make note of her arms and like pinching and pulling skin away. So you get the sense that he is still tailoring this
We have
now with a
over a
sense of
week.
urgency.
We have over a week. If your goal is to rescue Irina, then that creature down there is the only way that we're going to do it, short of a full-on assault and absconding with her. But the minute we leave with Irina is the minute Strahd throws everything at us and
I
takes
wasn't planning
back
to
what
leave
he
the
wants.
castle with him alive.
So it sounds like if we're anticipating him throwing everything at us, we might as well do the full frontal assault that we're planning anyway. Is that what
Wouldn't
you're
it be
saying,
nice
Honora?
to have Irina fighting with us?
She's pretty good with a sword.
I
She
don't
can't
know.
be if she's stuck in a wedding dress.
Also, keep in mind the curse of this place is that he never ends up attaining her. Somehow, some way, it always goes bad. And this abbot seems to be overconfident in being able to remedy that fact.
Well, overconfident is the key here.
But he's trying to end it somehow, which
Indeed, and I'm telling you, the very nature of this place will work against that somehow.
What
So it would just be a
about
dog chasing her tail. I think
what about the
this is a wash. Sorry, go ahead.
what about the people of Krezk? Think they might be able to help us?
They're farmers. They're terrified of the mongrel folk. I mean, if we can get the mongrel folk,
Yeah, that's what I'm suggesting. Maybe we agree. If now, only suggesting, but if we agree to do this, we can make it on the condition that the mongrel folk stay out of the city. That might get the people of Krezk on our side.
I would like the mongrel folk to be set loose in Strahd's castle.
Well, we could please both sides. Maybe get everyone on our side.
So we help him get bones, but he has to bring the mongrel folk to the wedding, all of them,
Well,
as
that brings up
honored
another.
guests.
Well, that brings up another point. How are we going to convince the mongrel folk to fight for us if we don't want him
Do they
to
need
know
to fight
that?
for us? They can just fight.
But
Chaos.
they could be fighting against us too. Then, if he's on Strahd's side.
Do you think the abbot is aware of Vampire, since he
don't think
knows
the-
about the cycles of the souls?
Maybe,
do you
maybe
not?
not.
Yeah, I don't think he controls the mongrel folk. I think that's why they're in cages.
Well, some of them.
Somebody had to put them in the cages. I don't think they went willingly.
No.
But some of the mongrel folk seem to at least be on his side. The guards right outside on the gates, they
Just
seem to be friendly with him.
the numbers don't add up. There's a lot of them that are not.
Well, we don't know for sure one way or the other.
That's true.
Yeah, he hasn't necessarily talked about their creation or
their numbers. He hasn't
Yeah,
talked about
numbers.
anything about them.
We also don't know how powerful he is. Why hasn't he, like Mordenkainen? Oh, sorry, I probably don't know about that actually.
You
No, you don't
might
know.
have heard
yeah,
rumors of the
no.
wizard that fails, because that was common rumors around
All
Markovia.
right,
but
yeah,
you would
here, I'll
just
You
call
know,
him the
like-
Mad
I'll this
Mage.
way.
The
Yeah.
Mad Mage.
There was a mage once who tried to fight him. If this abbot is so keen on bringing peace, would not defeating Strahd bring peace to the land? Why hasn't he done that? I wonder. That might be a good question.
Well,
Might be against
maybe
his
he
religion.
can't. Or religion. We don't know how powerful he is, but we know Strahd's powerful.
Right, but it's a vampire, right? That's usually not a good thing. And I mean, the Morning Lord isn't. Morning Lord's still worshipped, kind of, or
Yeah.
like those
There's
sun
Morning Lord
ceremonies
churches
are
everywhere.
still allowed. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, like all of the churches that you've encountered so far, like back with Father Donovan, and even in
The hallowed grounds that we put her in Valaki.
Yep.
But my knowledge of like the history of Barovia, like the church wasn't like gung ho about Strahd, right? For until he made it so, or has it always just been kind of like a background factor?
The church has still never been gung ho about Strahd. Like none of the even citizens have ever, like, I guess once Strahd became cursed in Barovia and the sun was never to appear again, like they went on a year of darkness, like riots ensued. And they became scared, and that's really when the the Morning Lord was able to recruit its people, like bring about the new dawn. If you bring enough faith to the church, then maybe the sun will rise again.
Right.
But obviously it didn't, so they lost a lot of traction. Temperance, why did he call you evil?
Because he's a misunderstood man, a mistaken man. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
I mean, you're a little mean sometimes, but I wouldn't call you evil.
Thank you.
I don't know what's funnier, the fact that he made the roll or that he got a nat 1.
I believe you.
You think Temperance is just a regular ass teenager, baby?
That's really sweet.
She's so angsty and it's just misunderstood.
You realize that we're like 2 years apart in age.
Yeah. Hey, there's a big difference between a junior in high school and a freshman in college.
So,
Well, the big question is, does helping him out benefit us, or would the time be better spent elsewhere?
I think it's
What
another
else?
risk.
What
I
else
think it's a risk.
could
Maybe
we do?
that's something.
Why don't we treat it like we did the werewolves? If we happen to stop around there, we can go do a little grave robbing and return a skull. And if we never make it back, then we lose that opportunity and we continue on.
John, do we
what
know
about
where?
the cards?
Can you remind us where this is? Like where?
That's where we fought
Southeast of
Strahd's mother.
Argynvost.
Okay.
Which
We got
is
the Cream Shed.
yeah, where Baba Lysaga was at, in the ruins of Breeze. So I'll bring you back to the main map.
Yeah.
It was right across the river from Grigori's lair.
Yep. Let me.
And we're all the way up here.
Yeah.
Right there at that.
Yeah. The ruins of Berets.
Yeah, that's what that U stands for.
Well, there's this mark.
What
Yeah,
about the
there.
cards? The fortune. What have we gathered? What is left?
I think we've done 2 of them.
Let's see.
Is Pan's card still with them?
No, we
No.
got new ones.
Yeah, you got new ones, and
No, I know
yours-
we got the new ones.
That's right,
but
Panton's Tarot
Yeah, but
card.
new card.
Yeah.
which one?
We've got the Necromancer.
Panton. I thought Panton gave it to Hermes or something.
We have the Avenger.
I think we've gotten almost all the cards.
Yeah, I think the only one that you
Just Evil's Bride is the one you seek. Right?
let me find
And
where
Ghost.
your new
The Father's Tomb.
Oh, yeah.
Can you guys tell me Taroka cards for players? There we go. Okay.
Yeah. I also don't think we've done the hooded one yet either.
The
cards with lights on.
hooded one is where you got the sun sword.
Okay. I thought that was the sword one.
The Avenger. I think we found the event. That was the.
Oh, it's
holy
backwards.
symbol of-
That's why it drives me nuts. Is they're like flip flopped with the
yeah.
way that I would want to read them.
Yeah, the
So we have
Holy
the book.
Avenger was where the amulet of Ravenkind was, or the holy symbol of Ravenkind
So we have the sun sword, the Ravenkind amulet, and we have the book.
Mm-hmm.
So the only one that you have left, or the only two that you have left, are one, your greatest ally, and where the final battle will take, where you will find Strahd to initiate the final battle.
Wait, sorry. The innocent, the evil's
bride.
Right. Yeah.
Which is Irina, I think.
So then they would both be at the final battle, or unless we find Irina first, but she's supposedly in Ravenloft.
All it's doing is telling you who your greatest ally in the fight is going to be.
What if this might be a little weird? What if the golem itself would be our ally? Could be the biggest distraction to Strahd.
Right. It's a 2-minute distraction. It's almost the same as if we just attacked him during the ceremony.
They don't put much weight into superstition. But if you're saying that these cards led to that sword, that amulet, and that tome, and what if this card is leading to that creature down there?
That's why we were here.
What was the reading for it, or what was the and what's the image associated with it?
Innocent.
The innocent?
Yeah.
It's Nora's Taroka card.
So it's the innocent, and I want to know who it was.
Oh, look at that auburn curled hair with little things just dripping down and everything, and the white
What?
tattered dress.
If you look at the
Wait.
card itself here, I'll show you. That's the card itself. And the reading was, this card sheds light on the one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. Evil's bride is the one you seek.
Well, is that... That's Irina then, herself, right?
Irina or this creature.
Or this creature. There's no location, like, associated with this reading, right?
None of them had locations.
The only one that did have a location was...
A father's tomb, which we don't know where that is.
The fireplace.
We did that one.
Yeah, that's the one that had a definite
Had a location, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just trying to figure out, like, to distinguish, like, if the card means Irina
the Avenger,
or...
the treasure lies in the dragon's house.
But nothing for this one. So it could be that
I see a
creature,
faceless god. He awaits you at the end of a long and winding road deep in the mountains.
Well,
so they've all given. Other than that one, they've all given some sort of location.
Interesting that this one doesn't.
Well, look, with our 11 days, what do we need to do? Where do we need to go?
Gathering allies.
Ismark, so likely Valaki. That could give us a lead on Ismark. Do we need to do anything else?
Valaki is past Bariz, is it not?
North.
It's not exactly on the way, but
it's not out of the way either.
Yeah.
They're, I'm gonna start uncovering names of locations on the map.
Oh, there's Falaki. Okay, there you go. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's way north. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not on
Yeah,
the
it's-
way.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
a big. It's a bit out of the way for sure.
I thought
I can
Falaki
pull
was
out my
over by the
map for
falls.
you. I'll pull out my
It's not terrible.
Triangle.
It could be
gnome
worse.
skim map. And be
It could be
like,
the village
Yeah,
of
I mean,
Barovia.
so it's we need to, if we go to the burial, it's like southeast, and Vlaki is just east.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could just see how long events take us in Vlaki and whatever else we need to do. If we have enough time, we could make a pit stop.
do we have any idea how long he needs to make one of these things?
John, he said a few days, right?
I don't know if he ever fully said how long it would take.
Oh, I thought he said
Yeah.
a few days.
It seemed
Okay.
that he's.
I think he
implying,
said
though,
he
that
only
he'd be
had
able
a
to get
few
it done in
days
time.
left
Oh, right.
to get
okay.
it done.
Yeah.
So
Well-
it may take him longer to make one of these things than we have.
Maybe. I guess it just
Perhaps.
depends on if we make that a priority.
I assume none of you are interested in possibly convincing him to fight with us if he's powerful. I know he seems.
That was
Odd,
my goal
but
originally.
His allegiance to at least pleasing Strahd worries me.
Well, if we could tell,
Yeah.
that's why I brought up the bit about Vampire. If we could tell him about Vampire and our goal to defeat it,
We could try.
Well,
Good.
I'm kind of out of ideas aside from just doing what he wants, so I think that might not be a bad idea.
Or we could just burn him and this whole abbey down and leave it all behind.
We don't know what we're up against. That's the issue here. If we do fight him.
You sure she's not evil?
That
I'm
seems
joking.
very less angsty, though, and more. I don't know. the word.
Unnecessarily destructive? Yeah.
Yes. Temperance.
Did the
Since
voice
when
get
have
in your
you
head too?
all been so worried about destruction?
Look, if you want to go out and kill yourself, you can go right ahead. I ain't gonna stop you. But I for one feel like living.
No, guys, there's something that gets into your head in this place. It got into
Oh.
my head earlier. Apparently got into Ramise's head.
What?
Oh, did you touch something that you shouldn't have touched?
Fine.
What happened to you? You had a.
Could you put the rope down, please?
I think something's in her head as I dangled the rope down.
You seem all right. You've seemed all right the whole time. I mean, other than stress, but you didn't keel over like Ramis did.
Did something get in your head, Honora?
Maybe I'm just made of stronger stuff. Yeah. Something got in my
did.
head. It took over and I killed that creature. I didn't want to.
Oh. That did seem uncharacteristic of you.
Luckily it passed quickly.
Right.
So these things, both of you are the only ones that have dealt with them.
This makes me not trust this place.
Agreed.
They would
But I
be
guess
an
the question is, can we-
incredible wild card to throw into the mix.
Maybe it's not worth the risk then of telling him a vampire. I just don't know yet.
But Temperance, are you feeling something? Maybe Radovan can do the same thing that he did to fix Ramis to you.
Let me see to you first. Now,
I'm fine.
I don't have anything in my head. Nothing making me cry or kill things that I don't want to kill.
So you want to kill everybody in this abbey?
I'm just tired of being in this place. I'm tired of being around mongrel folk. And I'm tired of talking.
Well,
Well, we have
We're-
to talk
we're-
to each other in order to figure a way to get out of here.
look,
And to
we
figure
ain't
out the best course that we'll all be on the same page about.
Are we getting the skull or no?
well, maybe we do what we said before. We say we'll do it, but it's not going to be a priority. If we get to it, we get to it.
Fine.
Sure. Sounds good to me. Are you on board with that, Temperance? You can nod if you're done talking.
She just kind of stares at you like, fine.
But I will
Minus,
say-
minus the giggling.
But I will say,
That's Bria giggling, not Temperance giggling.
if we find anything incriminating, then we'll burn down the place. That sound all right to you?
That sounds great to me.
All right.
That's wholly unnecessary. There
That's why I
are
said incriminating.
Perhaps.
But,
I,
Down
for
the
one,
rope.
would want to get out of this little bubble.
well, before that, what about the Burgomaster's son? Should we at least bring that up? Maybe as a condition for us doing this thing? Oh, there
Nope.
we go. There he goes.
He's down the rope.
He's down the rope.
You guys okay on time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're just about done.
Okay.
Remind me again, what happened with the Burgomaster's son?
He
they
died.
died of
burned
an
him-
illness.
Died, and he asked us to ask the abbot to revive him.
Yeah.
Oh, that part.
Well,
Yes. Okay.
can't you just
That-
revive
that'll
him,
be interesting.
Radovan?
Yeah,
Um,
actually, I probably could.
We do have a scroll of like true resurrection.
I don't want to use
technically.
that one, but like if he can get a diamond and he can, revivify or
He's
resurrect.
been dead for more than a minute, I think.
No,
That's true.
I have access to. I'm pretty sure I have access to Raise Dead.
And
Oh my god!
Panton's
What?
got some diamond in his pack still.
Yep. But it's only 50 gold, wasn't it?
No.
I mean, I think unless Radovan has true resurrection, I don't think he can do it.
I don't know. It's only
Raised,
been a couple days.
I think Raised Dead has a limit of 10 days.
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't it raise as like a zombie though? Is that am I
No.
thinking
No,
of the
No,
red
no,
spell?
no. That's Raise Zombie.
Hold on, let me look up Raise Dead.
Oh, you know what I have? I don't think it's Raise Dead. Actually, I think it's
No
it's
longer than 10 days.
Reincarnation or something.
yeah. So you could reincarnate him as a fucking elf,
Dragonborn.
dwarf, Dragonborn. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, it only utilizes.
You made them all mongrel folk.
Oh,
Doesn't it only utilize like bodies that there are available?
yes.
Like,
you have
and
to have
so
the body there.
yeah,
Or their bones, like Rose's bones. What are those doing in my pack still?
Yeah, Radovan, what are those doing in your pack?
Jesus
I've been
Christ,
carrying him this whole
Radovan.
time.
All right, so you guys are down out of the.
Wait, I think we're still discussing whether or not we want to bring up the Burgomaster's son really quick.
I just don't think he has the power to resurrect him.
We can
whole.
always
No, but I
ask.
mean, we did promise we would at least try, like at least bring it up.
Well, if Radovan can solve this problem with his nature magic, then I don't see why we
The-
need to bring it up.
Well,
to the
okay, Radovan, do you have Raised Dead or True Resurrection or?
I can
True
Reincarnation.
Resurrection is a
reincarnate them,
9th
I
level
can't-
spell.
I
And
can't guarantee the body.
looking at the spell, Panton had a 300 gold piece gem or diamond, but the spell requires a 500. So
So we talked to the Burgomaster about
Yeah.
resources.
In order to complete the ritual that I would have to do, I would need rare oils and unguents worth at least 1,000.
Oh, is that for reincarnation?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we can offer it to him and see if he wants to take it. He'd have to pay for it, of course, but if you're up for it, obviously I can't speak for you on this one. I can't do it.
I'll be honest with you all. Part of me wonders what's the point. Either we succeed in our mission or we fail, and then this soul just gets cycled back and gets weaker and weaker until it's consumed.
But Happy Burger Master might be a happier town. Happier town might be more willing to help us should we need it.
Happy
John's gotta pee
Burger
again.
Master, indeed.
It just increases our chances, Radovan. It's in our nature not to give up and not to roll over and let things continue as is. I do think that this Abbey might be a dead end. I think it's too many variables. It was worth checking out.
Maybe things will develop in the days to come. Maybe we'll find something or think of something.
Well, again,
Well.
if we get to the bones, we get to the bones, but I'm not exactly in a rush to help out this guy.
Okay, well, time is burning, and this hole is not gonna last much longer. So,
But Radovan, you are willing to do the reincarnate if you have the supplies, right?
I'll have to think about it, but it seems I have some time to do so.
That's fine. I don't trust this man to raise any dead anyway.
Y'all are so. I don't know. This is weird how cautious
You've made him
you guys are
creepy.
being.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like dude, this has red flags written all over
All
it.
over, yeah.
Is that what you were talking about, John? Or are you?
No, that's
Something
what I'm
else.
talking about.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm just surprised at how quick to think that he's evil.
Yeah, I don't think he's evil. I think he's misguided and delusional and isn't going to actually help us. I think Temperance is evil though, so
Oh,
Yeah, I think it comes down to I don't like we need people we can trust during an invasion. I don't trust this guy. Just something's up.
Yeah.
also with seeing the way that the doll works, it's not convincing enough.
Yeah.
It'd be better to throw a sword at Irina and to have her fight for her life.
maybe. I mean, she is a flesh golem. She could be like super strong and stuff like that, but she's also seems to only answer to the abbot. So like,
And
unless
if the
Or
abbot
as-
wants
killed
her to
him and
fight for Strahd, then we have another enemy.
If the and maybe I didn't make myself clear when I was explaining it earlier, but if the abbot says to the flesh golem, you obey Strahd's every command or listen to him, like, or interact with him. Right now, if any of you were to say, Vasilka, could I have your hand? She would not respond. But if the abbot says it's okay to listen and interact with these folk, then she would.
yeah.
Right.
And he plans to do that with Strahd.
what if we
Mhm.
assassinated the abbot? And
There might be a
I could see
protocol in
absolutely
place.
nothing wrong with that.
I
There
also
may be a
see
we-
protocol.
would
Okay.
she be
gained
free?
by that.
Would she be
so-
Frankenstein?
You mean would
if
she?
we were to give him the skull, make him do all the stuff, have him transfer over the power to us, then burn him down.
Oh my god.
Yes, that is actually what I'm thinking.
All I'm gonna
Possibly,
say is y'all
possibly.
didn't have any problem with burning people down when it was spooky layers and stuff.
Well, of course not.
Or Babala sagas.
This guy could is a healer, right?
I mean, we
he's
think.
making monsters though, but
You
yeah,
haven't
I
even
mean
really asked
it's
him about that either.
pretty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just I mean, for burning this place down, there's just way too many unknowns for that right now.
Right. This is the honeymoon phase. Just like Babala's Saga, admittedly a lot shorter honeymoon phase. She tried to like tell us a porch time story, but like with and that went south really fast. But like
Which
here, it's like
which
okay,
you so rudely interrupted.
did I do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did that because you got in the tree.
as
Yeah, you're trying to
Well,
steal the gem.
That wasn't me though. I failed a stealth check. I'm pretty sure.
you did, and the root lashed out at you.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But yeah, I think we have a good idea of what we want to do and say. So I think we're all gonna. Well, I mean, Anderson will climb out of the hole unless anyone has anything else to say.
I mean, I'm fine like ending it here. Like I kind of have an idea of like where we can pick it up, unless you guys want to keep going. But
Do you want to talk to him? Do we have time to talk to him?
there's
Is
just
everybody-
one thing that I want the characters to have an interaction with. Will take less than 5 minutes,
Yeah,
because I want you to
absolutely.
have the opportunity to think about it and then role play it when you come to the next session. I just don't want to blindside you with it.
Yeah,
For sure.
all good.
Yep.
Once everybody leaves the portable hole, I will take the medallion from the bow really quick. This is just flavor at this point. I'm not using an ability or anything like that. And I will pray to the master of the hunt, Gweren Windstrom,
Okay.
and to ask him to guide me on who our target should be, whether it is Irina or this golem. Probably not expecting anything to happen because of it.
This
but it
isn't-
Don't you
never
have
hurts
the
to try to
cleric
This
reach
isn't
out.
a
spell, Wheeler
spell?
Woe?
This is not a spell. No, I'm just
Don't
reaching
you
out.
have the one?
Nope, I'm a level 5. I don't have that ability yet.
Okay.
But just trying to reach out to my god, since the abbot seemingly has some connection to the Morning Lord. Maybe Windstrom could point me in the right direction.
Give you a
And then-
response at the beginning of next session.
Okay. And then I will slide down the rope, and I will look up and I will give it a little tug, and it'll just fall down onto the ground. And nothing's up there.
Okay. The abbot is still out in the courtyard. Do you go out to retrieve him, or do you wait inside until he returns?
I'd probably
Um,
make my way outside.
yeah. Let's get him.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. As I guess that doesn't really matter. As you step outside, you can see the abbot, Vasilka, and also Cloven standing very close to the well.
Ooh, the abbot is elongated.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I got him.
It's a
There
second
you
level spell, DJ. Augury?
I never took it.
Standing very close to the well, and as you come out, the abbot notices your presence and, please, come here. I have some exciting new news. I have just been informed of something tremendous.
Anderson will walk towards him.
I was discussing with Cloven here that there was a possibility that you might not assist in our goals due to the time constraints from travel. And Cloven here informed me of a magic that exists here within this well. I've been informed that all of the wells in the major cities can be summoned. A creature, a spirit of sorts, will arrive and take you to wells of other towns. Cloven, please. And the creature speaks in sort of a weird tone, not of any word that you've ever heard before. And this silver, water-like, elemental-like creature, something, this essence weaves out from the inside of this well, forming and kind of just waving back and forth. Cloven turns to you. You must only speak the town that you wish to go to. It will take you there. And that's where we'll
How
leave
can we
off
trust this?
for this session. And you can think on that.
We have
Well,
fast travel.